It's an honor and a pleasure to be here and to kick off the Insider Summit again. MessageGears is an enterprise customer engagement platform. We work with really big brands. If you have millions of customers and send tens, hundreds, billions of emails, that's our sweet spot. We're going to learn a lot more about that today. But let's talk for a minute about what it's like to be an email marketer right now. This is a meme. I'm on Twitter a lot. I rarely tweet unless it's to congratulate a friend like Ryan Phelan yesterday on Twitter. I did tweet something out. He bought a company yesterday. But I'm on Twitter a lot. I love memes. There's going to be a lot of memes today. I'm not going to apologize for it. But this is Mr. Krabs. And I looked up yesterday the origin of this meme. And the origin of this meme was a 17-year-old kid in 2016 posted this photo with the caption, "This is what it feels like when you wake up from a nap to your parents screaming at you." And I thought this was perfect, and that's how marketers probably feel right now. There's just so much going on, so many distractions from inflation, from cutting budgets, from chat GPT, from data access, all the things that figuring out your CDP strategy. There's so much going on that this is what it feels like for marketers. And it's tough out there. It's hard, and all within an atmosphere that consumer demands continue to rise. These stats shouldn't surprise anybody. This is a study we commissioned. 11% of consumers say that large brands exceed their expectations on the messaging they get. Obviously, lack of relevance and content that you send over email and your other channels is bad for business. Half of the respondents said they were annoyed when they got generic, non-personalized emails, and 75% say they are likely to unsubscribe if the messaging they get isn't personalized for them or that they don't get value. So again, 2/3 of customers say they're more likely to get your business if you're personalized, and 87% feel that less than half of the brand messaging they receive is personalized. This is obviously important. I think this is not news. We're all trying to deliver personalized messaging at scale to our brands. We want each and every one of us to get the message that adds value and promotes your own brand in the unique way for that unique customer. But it's hard, and it's harder to do the bigger you get. Millions of customers, it's harder than hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands, it's harder than 10,000s of customers. And we're doing this in the backdrop of strange, very strange economic times. You log into LinkedIn or Google, Sandra, do not pull off the blindfold. It is like, it's doom scrolling. There's layoffs. A lot of you are dealing with missing team members right now, while you're being asked to do more than you've ever had to do. Who here has watched The Menu? The movie Menu? Okay, yeah, there's some hands. Okay, but not everybody. Those who have get this, but I love to look in this guy's eyes. In this world we're living in this chaotic environment, we're asked to be doing more with less. The age of just being able to add MarTech vendors to your platform to fill a specific niche is over. It's over for a variety of reasons. I think we're in an economic malaise, and it's likely to get worse before it gets better. That's really driving this from a kind of a blunt instrument. But we're going to talk about the MarTech stack in a minute, and it's gotten too cumbersome and confusing. So simplifying the MarTech stack ultimately is good for business. To channel Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park, CHAOS, chaos. So let's try to alleviate some of the chaos in your life. Or you can be like Portia from White Lotus. I think we're all just in a weird place. Am I the only one whose wife wants to visit the White Lotus properties? Yes, yeah, really, right? But we're all kind of in a weird place right now, and it's because of your tech stack. So this is kind of what the tech stack looks. I mean, like for most of you brands out there, most of you have invested, or you're in the process of investing in an internal customer 360. That's the gold standard. Everybody wants a performant internal customer data warehouse where you have everything you know about that customer in one performant location behind your firewall. You own the data, all your PII is there, all of your past customer history there, all the sensitive data, all the behavioral signals that you get from all the different channels that you interact with that customer. It's all sitting in a performant data warehouse behind your firewall. And the problem becomes when the vendors that need to access that data to personalize need access to it. So this is just a rough, loose example of you have a customer data platform that needs access for activating across channels. You have an ESP that needs access to that data to send emails. You have a segmentation platform, a mobile platform. You have many other vendors out there. And guess what? What's happening is each of these vendors need a copy of that data. And it's usually not a full copy. It's a subset of that data that doesn't include PII. And it's a latent subset because you're syncing, if you have millions and millions of customers, you're syncing nightly at best. And so as a brand, you end up having 5, 6, 8 copies of your data floating around with all your different vendors, and it's just expensive as well as unwieldy. So this is why brands feel like they can't be relevant in real time, how they can't move fast, why they can't personalize at scale because they don't have enough access to their information, why they feel like they can't fix their problem because they don't have more budget, because the solution has tended to be, well, let's add another piece to this puzzle and that will magically solve everything instead of simplifying it, which is really what the goal should be. I was talking to a brand last night. It was a lovely conversation. Who was using a different ESP, and she was very happy with the ESP. And my comment to her was, Godspeed. Not many people are, so hang on to that ESP if you are happy with them. But she's like, I just don't feel like we're getting enough out of the ESP. It's not their fault. It's not my fault. It's just we're not set up to take advantage of all the features. And it's really not anybody's fault. The fault is this MarTech stack I showed you. It's access to data in real time. That is the issue. And so it really can't be solved unless you consolidate and simplify your MarTech stack. It's not your fault. And oftentimes it's not your vendor's fault. And there is a better way. That is the answer to this. There's a better way. I love this episode of The Simpsons where everybody thought the way to juice vegetables was banging it against their forehead until they figured out there's actually an invention called a juicer. Well, I guess MessageGears is the juicer. I didn't really think about that until now, but we're the juicer. Simplify your tech stack to make it work for you. Salesforce launched Genie, which is their version of a CDP. And when they did, they talked about the risks, costs, and headaches of traditional syncing methods, right? And we are like Tom Haverford here from Parks and Rec. We've been saying that for years. And so finally, everybody else in the industry is seeing the same thing. Data syncing, multiple copies of your data, is expensive, is unwieldy, and it hurts the customer experience. So let's think about the traditional way you communicate with your customers. You have multiple SaaS vendors. This is the way virtually, MessageGears is a hybrid platform. We sit directly on your data for anything that accesses your data. But I don't know of another MarTech vendor who can directly access data like we do. And so therefore, all of your vendors work this way. Each of them have a copy of your data, and each of them have their own code that sits on top of that data, and then they're sending stuff to your customer. The efficient way is for you to have one copy of your data. All of your vendors access that data directly, and then your customer benefits from all that goodness. Your tech stack is simplified, and you pay less money. And it's important because this is your customer base. You have millions of customers, and each of them are unique or expecting unique things from you as a brand. So this is a massive, massive unlock. So MessageGears takes this, we're asking you to stop this madness, and we set within your data environment, which means you have access as a marketer to all your customer data in real time. It's that simple. All your customer data in real time. You can access it in real time. You can activate it across all your channels, whether you're using us to send emails or not. And then we have native channel execution, obviously, across email, mobile, and push. We bought a company, Swerve, we announced earlier this year, who's an amazing mobile platform. Our roots are in email. So we're really excited to have best-of-breed native execution platforms in email, which is our roots, and Swerve, which does mobile push, in-app messaging, mobile analytics, and has wonderful global brands as well. So the benefit of direct data access for marketers is simply that it's easier to launch. You don't need to do any data mapping, data syncing. We can get up in weeks instead of quarters. It's faster to launch campaigns because you don't have to worry about data access. It's more secure. It's literally the most secure option on the planet because your data never leaves your platform. Your customer data does. It is more powerful because you access everything in real time, and it's less expensive because you don't need to pay us to store your data. So you're leaning in a little bit right now, and you're saying, but Roger, I can't just rip and replace my ESP, right? It's really freaking hard to change your ESP. It's hard to do it operationally, especially if you're switching from one SaaS vendor to another. It's also hard to get internal buy-in because it's a multi-departmental decision. And certainly now, right, as costs are being squeezed, it's just easier to sit on your hands and say, let me move things in the periphery, but our core enterprise platforms are going to be hard to change right now. We're certainly seeing some of that sentiment with brands. Well, the good news is you can keep your ESP. If you're intrigued by the potential power of direct data access, if your company has invested in a customer 360 and as a marketer, you're not benefiting from that yet, you can use MessageGears without changing your ESP. You can use MessageGears to do all your segmentation, all your customer counts. Would it be nice to sit on your top of your core data and be able to do your own segmentation and criteria in a WYSIWYG way and get segment counts without having to go to a third-party system? You can with MessageGears. Would it be nice to do holdout groups, and would it be nice to do your content assignment on top of your core data without having to ship all of the data to do that assignment at your third party, and it just is more rigorous and hard? So a lot of our big brands will start with MessageGears like this. We access your data, you create your audiences, you create your content assignment, do a lot of your personalization that needs to be done at send time using MessageGears. And then we activate that across whatever vendor you have. And so I would love to talk to you about that today. Certainly if you want a new ESP, we'd love to be your ESP or mobile vendor. But you don't have to do that to take advantage of the goodness of what MessageGears provides with leveraging your data. We can be up and going quickly because we don't have to move your data, map your data. InfoSec loves us. I don't think any other vendor in the room can say that. We immediately make your stack more performant, and you get to be friends with the IT department. Just a couple quick case studies here. Home Depot uses us. They send all of their marketing emails through MessageGears. They also use our segmentation product I just described as well. 15% increase in email engagement rates. They can send personalized emails out in real time instead of having to wait several days to do so because they have direct access to their data. 60% savings in MarTech costs moving to MessageGears. 60% savings. They were able to eliminate multiple pieces of their MarTech stack by moving to MessageGears. And we do all the real-time couponing as well. Best Buy uses us for all their marketing email. We got up super quickly with them for a brand that sends billions of emails a month. Not billions a month, but anyway, they send a lot of email. We've had our first email with them in July, and we're fully ramped up by Q4. And we signed our contract in Q2. So we work at scale. No scale is too big for MessageGears. We're designed for really big brands. Again, if you have millions of customers, we're here for you. And we move quickly. So that's, and they found, again, lower cost, higher ROI. OpenTable saw a 20% reduction in MarTech spend, 15% lift in lifetime value. 15% lift in lifetime value, all because of better personalization and being able to leverage all the rich customer data they had they weren't able to do before. You're in good company if you work with MessageGears. We work with some of the biggest brands in the world. Additional brands are Indeed and Kayak and Chick-fil-A and Expedia.com, and we work with all the biggest brands. We'd love to work with you. Forrester says if you want to access your data directly, MessageGears is a bullseye. They call it data and security savvy companies. They also, we commissioned them for a study, 413% ROI if you use MessageGears, 6-month payback. Again, lower cost, higher revenue. So use your tech to liberate you. I don't think many of us feel liberated by your technology. I think if you spend your days thinking about what I can do within the paradigm of the box that I have to work in versus what do I want to do, and let your technology liberate you to do that with full access to all your company's assets, you should talk to us. I'd love to have you talk. Matt, you want to stand up? And Celia, you want to stand up? Matt and Celia are with MessageGears. We'd love to talk to you this week, and I hope everybody has a wonderful couple days at Media Post Summit. Thanks.